Okay, now that we're back on this, well, we never left it. So, now I've got to get the rods from this point to this point. So, I have this much travel that I can, I can do with it. So I figured, let's start in the middle. So I've got to get rods from that point down to there, and so I measured it out. I have rods. I've got a whole freaking thing full of rods from over the years of stuff not using it. So I have to go out and measure, and so I need these ones. These are like maxed out all the way, bottomed out to the inside of this all the way up to here, which is good. That'll leave a lot of stuff, but I'll have no room to shrink it if I need to. So, yeah, but it only comes out to about halfway. So that gives me plenty of room to do what we need to do for all the swiveling and all that kind of good stuff. So centered. We're trying to make everything 90 degree. Start from that point. And then I figure once I get that, then I don't know if I'll start with 5 degrees of pitch, which I probably will, just because that's how I set up all my scale stuff. And this is just an auto machine. It's not meant for inverted, but I'm sure by the time I get do this, it'll have 15 degrees negative, 50 degree positive. Yeah, we'll see how it ends up. All right. And so I am making up my rods that go from there to there, you know. I am literally throwing them together using a drill with a little bit, the Dubro bit that screws on the the ball links. I literally threw them all together and eyeballed them, and they are within 1/100 of an inch difference in size. I literally, like 5 minutes, I screwed it all together, called it good. Measuring it with my my calipers. Jesus Christ. This monstrosity is more fun than you can handle. 22:15, 21:55, and 21 on the dot. All right, got them fitted. Yeah, they're all the same. Now I'm running into a new problem. See how close that is with the spot that I put it on the ball? So if it runs up anywhere from right there, it's going to run right into this part right here. If I slide this servo up, it's going to make contact, and that's barely even up. So now, because the servo horns that come with these servos there's the single arms are different in hole position than the double arms. So now I'm gonna have to go through all these, make all new ones, and put them out on the second hole in order for it to all be the same, so they all move exactly the same up and down. It's gonna suck, but okay. All right, now we got a little more clearance there for whenever this comes in, but I had to remake everything because these original servo horns were on the single hole, and in order for them to be all the same, I got to redo all of them. So I had to redo the double ones out to the middle hole, and that one to get to the middle hole so that I could, you know, clear that servo whenever it comes up. I doubt it if it'll go that far. You never know, but that's going to be one of the points so it doesn't make contact. Now that we've got this on there and not this piece in there, this is an anti-rotation elevator arm so that it eliminates this. But the problem was this is in the middle and it wasn't allowing me to get the servo in there. So different type of set of mechanics with where the servos are placed towards the main shaft. If you have this style, you need the servo actually back here, or it's actually in the front and it's got a little bit more space. But with this is what we're gonna go with. So I've got quite a bit of room. If this is at 90 degrees, you know, somewhere around in there, that servo's about 90 degrees. I'm about in the middle of the anti-rotation bracket for total movement and cyclic movement and all that good stuff. So hopefully it won't bind. There we go. All right. All right. So on to the next issue. I've got all the rods in here. They're all kind of somewhat in position. This is the bottom of the head. So I have this much room to play with. This is kind of center. So now what I've got to do is I need a follower. And of course, I don't have any followers here, so I'm going to make one. So I've got a swash plate, whatever they call these pieces. I can't remember exactly what the name of it is. But this normally slides up and down with the flybarred head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this block and I'm actually going to cut it down to right there. I'm going to drill holes between here and on the other side, and I'm going to put a set pin, like a little set screw. Because this has, this spot right there has a little bit more meat than just down on this side. So I don't really need a whole lot of height. I just need to be able to pin this onto here and set screw it to the main shaft, and then that'll keep this ring from rotating freely, because I don't want it to rotate freely. I want it to be set in a particular spot so I can get the phasing correct for the rotor head. That's the next little project. We're gonna do some modifying because this is parts that I have. All right, there is the finished modified follower. So you can see I tapped and drilled for a couple of 3mm bolts. Really short because there isn't a whole lot of meat there, but there was enough that I could put 2 in there and get it on there. And then there is the arm that I took off the other length and side. There would be the normal arm. So I just cut all this off. We don't need it. So there we go. Theoretically, I could put the other arm on here and have 2 arms, but, you know, I like things being lopsided, and we'll just go with it like that. Another arm. There you go. I thought about it and went, well, fuck, I just fucking modify both of them and just put it on there. So there we go. There is my swash plate follower that is set to the main shaft, and then we can get the correct phasing with whatever we need. And more than likely, the rods are going to be straight up and down for this head. So I'll throw it on there and we'll check it out. All right, so now that I've got the head kind of figured out, I was working on a tail. And I thought, okay, well, I got some of this old flex cable. Not the flex cable. These are the Dubro laser rods, you know, flexible push rods. Oh, no problem. Put it in there and got it all set up. I was just going to black tape it all the way up because I had the servo up here. Not a big deal. Made it so it was nice and smooth. I taped it all up and I went and did one little movement and it went. So that didn't work. So that came off. And of course, these are freaking old as hell. But it's shit that I had. So I had this carbon push rod and I have to get it set just right so that it doesn't rub during full deflection or anything like that. So, and it looks like it's just starting to sit on there. I have to do a little bit more adjusting to it. It's not quite touching there, but it's close. But it's not. I can rotate this around a little bit more. And then I'll just have to run, I did a short little tiny extension to get it into where the demon's gonna sit. The demon's gonna sit here. I am using a Central Box 200 with a couple of satellite RS3s for my jetty stuff that I had sitting around here. So yeah, the monstrosity continues to grow.